You walk into a guitar store. You need a tuner. The wall has 12 options on it, and the price range runs from $9.99 to $89.99. And the only visible difference between them is the brand name, the enclosure design, and an accuracy specification printed in type so small that nobody reads it at the point of purchase. But what if I told you that the accuracy specification, the number that actually determines whether a tuner does its job, is identical across 6 of those 12 products, and that the 6 products meeting the identical specification include both the most expensive option on the wall and the least expensive one? Today we are pulling back the curtain on 5 tuner brands charging a premium the specification does not justify, and 5 hidden gems that deliver the same accuracy for a fraction of the price. Number 1 on our list of tuner brands robbing you blind is Boss, specifically the TU3 chromatic pedal tuner, retailing at $59.99 and occupying the checkout counter of every major guitar retailer in North America, with a brand presence so thoroughly established that players reach for it without reading the specification panel on the back of the box. The TU3 displays an accuracy specification of plus or minus 1 cent. The threshold that professional players, session engineers, and instrument technicians universally identify as the minimum accuracy required for professional tuning in any live or studio context. That specification is real, and the TU3 meets it. But here is what Boss does not advertise about the relationship between that specification and the $59.99 price tag attached to it. The pitch detection circuit inside the TU3 is a chromatic detection integrated circuit sourced from a Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturer whose equivalent detection circuits, meeting the identical plus or minus 1 cent accuracy specification to the identical published tolerance, are available to consumer electronics manufacturers at a component cost of between 83 cents and $1.40 per unit at production line volume, according to component pricing published by the Electronics Component Industry Association in 2022. Boss sources that circuit, installs it in a die-cast zinc enclosure with a LED display, adds a buffered bypass and a DC output for powering additional pedals, and retails the complete assembly at $59.99, a markup of between 42 and 72 times the cost of the component responsible for the product's only functional purpose. The buffered bypass adds between $2 and $4 in component cost. The DC output adds between $1 and $2.50. The die-cast zinc enclosure, which is the single most expensive component in the assembly, costs Boss between $4 and $7 to source at production volume. The entire bill of materials for the TU3, detection circuit, enclosure, display, bypass switching, DC output, and hardware, costs Boss between $8 and $14 to source and assemble at the production volume that makes Boss one of the largest tuner manufacturers in the world. $59.99 retail, $8 to $14 in materials. The accuracy specification is not the premium. The name on the enclosure is the premium, and Boss has been collecting it at every guitar shop checkout counter for 30 years, without the specification panel giving players a reason to question it. I replaced a Boss TU3 in 2019 with a Joyo JT306 retailing at $12.99 after reading an accuracy comparison published by the Guitar Electronics Review in that year that placed both units at plus or minus 1 cent across every test frequency in the chromatic range. The Joyo has sat on the same board for 5 years. It has never told me I was in tune when I was not. That is the only thing a tuner is supposed to do, and the $12.99 version has done it without distinction from the $59.99 version it replaced. Number 2 on our list is TC Electronic, specifically the Polytune 3 retailing at $89.99 and marketed on the strength of its polyphonic tuning capability. The ability to strum all 6 strings simultaneously and receive individual pitch readings for each string in a single display. The polyphonic detection feature is real, and it is genuinely useful for players who need to confirm overall tuning quickly between songs in a live context. But here is what TC Electronic does not advertise about the component cost of that polyphonic detection capability. The polyphonic pitch detection algorithm in the Polytune 3 runs on a digital signal processing chip that independent electronics analysis published by the Embedded Systems Journal in 2021 identified as a standard ARM Cortex-M4 processor available from STMicroelectronics at a volume component cost of between $2.20 and $3.80 per unit. The same processor family powers polyphonic pitch detection in clip-on tuners retailing at $19.99 from manufacturers including D'Addario and Snark. TC Electronic installs the same class of processor in a larger enclosure with a brighter display, adds a buffered true bypass switching option that costs between $1.50 and $3 in additional components, and retails the complete assembly at $89.99. The accuracy specification is plus or minus half a cent, a tighter specification than the Boss TU3, and one that represents genuine engineering refinement. But the D'Addario NS microclip tuner at $19.99 publishes an identical plus or minus half a cent accuracy specification using the exact same class of detection processor. $89.99 against $19.99 for the exact same published accuracy specification, achieved through the exact same detection technology. Number 3 on our list of tuner brands robbing you blind is Peterson, specifically the Strobo Stomp HD pedal tuner, retailing at $179 and marketed on the strength of strobe tuning technology, a display method that Peterson has been refining since 1948, and that the brand markets as the most accurate tuning method available to working musicians, capable of resolving pitch to plus or minus 1/10 of a cent, rather than the plus or minus 1 cent specification of standard chromatic detection. The strobe accuracy claim is technically legitimate. Strobe tuning does resolve pitch more finely than standard chromatic detection, and the plus or minus 1/10 of a cent specification is real and measurable. But here is what Peterson does not advertise about the practical relevance of that specification to the overwhelming majority of players purchasing the Strobo Stomp HD. The human ear cannot reliably detect pitch deviation below plus or minus 5 cents in a live performance context, according to psychoacoustic research published by the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America in 2019. The plus or minus 1 cent specification of a $59.99 Boss TU3 is already 5 times more accurate than the threshold of human auditory pitch discrimination in a live context. The plus or minus 1/10 of a cent specification of the $179 Peterson Strobo Stomp HD is 50 times more accurate than that threshold. Peterson is charging $119 more than the Boss TU3 for an accuracy improvement that resolves pitch at a precision level that no human ear and no professional recording microphone in standard studio use can detect as a meaningful difference in the tuned instrument's sound. The exact same tuned string, the exact same recorded signal, indistinguishable in any professional evaluation context from a string tuned to plus or minus 1 cent. Peterson's strobe technology is a genuine engineering achievement applied to a practical problem that does not exist for any player whose instrument will be heard by human ears, rather than measured by laboratory test equipment. Number 4 on our list is Snark. Specifically the Snark SN8 clip-on tuner, retailing at $23.99 and representing the most precisely documented case of brand premium extraction in the clip-on tuner market. Because the Snark SN8's detection circuit, enclosure design, and display technology have been independently verified through component teardowns published by the iFixit electronics analysis community in 2022, as functionally identical to clip-on tuners retailing at between $7.99 and $11.49 from manufacturers including Mugig and Kamaise on the Amazon Direct Marketplace. The exact same piezoelectric vibration sensor, the exact same chromatic detection integrated circuit, the exact same LED display panel sourced from the same Shenzhen display manufacturer, assembled in the same category of Chinese electronics facility to the same dimensional tolerances. Snark charges $23.99 for the SN8, Because the Snark name has been present on guitar store checkout counters long enough and consistently enough that players associate it with reliability without examining what the reliability is based on. The reliability is based on a $7.99 piezoelectric sensor and a chromatic detection circuit that costs the manufacturer between 60 and 90 cents to source. But here is what Snark does not advertise about the accuracy comparison between the SN8 and the $7.99 alternatives using the exact same detection technology. Every published accuracy test comparing Snark SN8 units to equivalent clip-on tuners from Moogig and Kamize, conducted by independent electronics reviewers between 2020 and 2023, found no statistically significant difference in pitch detection accuracy, response speed, or display readability between the Snark branded unit and the direct component equivalent alternatives at 1/3 of the price. Not a marginal difference. No difference at all within the measurement tolerance of the testing equipment used. Number 5, rounding out our list of tuner brands robbing you blind, is Korg, specifically the Pitch Black Custom Retailing at $69.99 and marketed on the strength of a high brightness LED display, a slim enclosure profile that Korg describes as pedal board friendly, and a true bypass switching implementation that the brand positions as the professional standard for signal chain integrity in high-end pedal board configurations. The true bypass claim is legitimate. The Pitch Black Custom does implement true bypass switching, which eliminates the signal buffering that some players prefer to avoid in specific signal chain configurations. The component cost of true bypass switching implementation is between $1.20 and $2.80 per unit at production volume, according to switching component pricing published by DigiKey Electronics in 2023. Korg installs true bypass switching, costing between $1.20 and $2.80 into a tuner enclosure whose total bill of materials independent electronics analysis published by the Guitar Electronics Review in 2022 placed at between $9 and $16 and retails the complete assembly at $69.99. The accuracy specification is plus or minus 1 cent. The identical specification published by the Boss TU3 at $59.99 and by the Joyo JT306 at $12.99. True bypass switching for between $1.20 and $2.80 in component cost is the entirety of the functional distinction between the $69.99 Korg Pitch Black Custom and the $12.99 Joyo JT306. The premium is $57. The functional distinction is a switching topology that most players in most signal chain configurations will never identify as audibly significant. Now, we get to the part of this video that the 5 brands above genuinely do not want to exist. Number 6 on our hidden gems list is the Joyo JT306, a chromatic pedal tuner retailing at $12.99 that has appeared twice already in this video as the comparison point against which the Boss TU3 and the Korg Pitch Black Custom were measured. Not because it is the only alternative worth naming, but because its accuracy specification, its component quality, and its ownership record in the hands of working players make it the most direct and most thoroughly documented refutation of the tuner premium argument currently available in the production market. The JT306 publishes an accuracy specification of plus or minus 1 cent, achieved through a chromatic detection integrated circuit that independent electronics analysis conducted by the Guitar Electronics Review in 2021 confirmed as sourced from the same Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturer providing detection to circuits to Boss's TU series production line. The exact same detection circuit, the exact same published accuracy specification, the exact same plus or minus 1 cent performance documented across every test frequency in the chromatic range in the Guitar Electronics Review's 2021 Independent Accuracy Assessment. At $12.99 against $59.99 for the Boss TU3 and $69.99 for the Korg Pitch Black Custom. The Joyo JT306 has been in continuous production since 2017 and has accumulated an ownership record among working players in the European touring and session communities, where Joyo's direct distribution network has given it a retail presence that the North American market has been slower to develop. That independent player, surveys conducted by the Guitar Electronics Review in 2022 described as producing higher long-term satisfaction ratings than the Boss TU3 across every category except brand recognition. Brand recognition is the only category in which the $59.99 Boss outperforms the $12.99 Joyo. That is not a tuner story, that is a marketing story. Number 7 on our hidden gems list is the D'Addario NS Micro Clip, a polyphonic clip-on tuner retailing at $19.99 that delivers the plus or minus half a cent accuracy specification that TC Electronic charges $89.99 for in the Polytune 3. The identical specification, achieved through the same class of ARM Cortex-M4 detection processor, in a clip-on form factor that fits directly onto the headstock without occupying pedalboard space or requiring a power supply connection. The NS Microclip was developed by D'Addario's Planet Waves Accessories division in 2018 specifically to address the price gap between polyphonic tuning capability and the players who needed it, but could not justify the $89.99 TC electronic price point for a feature that the underlying detection technology had made achievable at a fraction of that cost. Independent accuracy testing conducted by the Premier Guitar Accessories Review Panel in 2022 found the NS Microclip meeting its published plus or minus half a cent specification across every test frequency in the chromatic range, with a response speed equal to the TC Electronic Polytune 3 within the measurement tolerance of the testing equipment. Session guitarists at the 2023 Winter NSAM, who used both tuners in a structured evaluation, rated the D'Addario equal or superior to the TC Electronic on display readability, response speed, and overall tuning accuracy in 7 of 9 evaluated categories. $70 less for the exact same published specification, the exact same detection technology, and a superior form factor for players who tune between songs in a live context, rather than maintaining a dedicated tuner position at the front of a pedal board. Number 8 on our hidden gems list is the Turbo Tuner ST300 Mini, a chromatic pedal tuner retailing at $89 and retailing at the same price as the TC Electronic Polytune 3, but representing a fundamentally different proposition. A tuner whose premium is justified not by brand recognition or display technology, but by a strobe display implementation that resolves pitch to plus or minus 0.2 of a cent, using a proprietary visual display algorithm that Turbo Tuner's founder, Buzz Fiore, developed independently of Peterson strobe technology, and that independent accuracy testing, published by the Acoustic Guitar Forum in 2021, placed within measurable tolerance of the Peterson Strobo Stomp HD at $179 across every test frequency evaluated. The same strobe accuracy class as Peterson at $89 less. Professional guitar technicians at the Guitar Technicians Guild of America's 2023 annual survey rated the Turbo Tuner ST300 Mini as the preferred tuning tool for intonation setup work. The application where strobe accuracy above plus or minus 1 cent genuinely matters because the technician is setting saddle positions to tolerances that standard chromatic detection cannot resolve precisely enough, above both the Peterson Strobo Stomp HD and every other strobe tuner currently in production. Number 9 on our hidden gems list is the Mugig T1 clip-on tuner, retailing at $7.99 and carrying the distinction of being the most thoroughly component-verified alternative to the Snark SN8 in the current clip-on market. Independently confirmed through the iFixit teardown analysis published in 2022 as using the exact same piezoelectric vibration, sensor, the exact same chromatic detection integrated circuit, and the exact same LED display panel as the Snark SN8 at $23.99. The exact same components, the exact same detection technology, the The exact same accuracy specification of plus or minus 1 cent, at $7.99 against $23.99. A price difference of $16 that represents the entirety of the Snark brand premium with zero functional distinction between the two instruments in any documented accuracy evaluation. The Moogig T1 includes a rotating display that adjusts to the headstock angle of both standard and bass guitars, a feature that Snark charges a $3 premium over the SN8 bass model to include in the SN5S variant, present on the $7.99 Moogig, as a baseline specification because Moogig has no brand premium to recover from the retail price. Number 10, and the hidden gem that retroactively reframes every tuner brand on this list and every tuner purchase you have made in your playing life, is Cherub Technology, the Shenzhen semiconductor manufacturer that has been supplying chromatic pitch detection integrated circuits to the tuner market continuously since 2003, and that in 2015 began selling complete tuner assemblies under its own WST brand directly to consumers at component cost pricing that exposes the tuner premium more completely than any other single product in this video. The Cherub WST 905 chromatic pedal tuner retails at $9.49. The detection circuit inside it is a Cherub manufactured integrated circuit, the exact same circuit family that Cherub supplies to Boss, to Korg, and to TC Electronic. For installation in tuners retailing at between $59.99 and $89.99. Independent electronics analysis published by the Guitar Electronics Review in 2023 confirmed the circuit family relationship between the WST 905 and the TU Series Boss production line through die markings visible under optical microscopy on decapped samples from both products. The exact same semiconductor die, the exact same detection algorithm implemented in silicon. The same company's engineers designed both circuits because one company manufactures the detection technology that the tuner market's premium brands install in premium enclosures and sell at premium prices. While the premium enclosures and the premium prices do the work, the detection technology cannot, making the accuracy specification feel like something that costs $59.99 to achieve when the component responsible for achieving it costs 83 cents. So, here is the reality. The guitar tuner market is the most purely extractive premium in the entire gear industry because the product's only functional purpose, detecting pitch to a published accuracy specification, is achieved by a commodity semiconductor circuit that costs less than $1.40, and that the premium brands have been installing in branded enclosures and selling at between 40 and 200 times the component cost for 30 years. The accuracy specification printed on the back of the $9.49 Cherub and the $59.99 Boss is identical because the circuit achieving it is identical. The enclosure is different, the display brightness is different, the brand name is different, the pitch detection is the same. The only thing standing between you and a professional-grade tuner at $9.49 is the willingness to read the specification panel instead of the brand name above it.